eat the cat food. I think that's a wild one. Yeah, it heard me. I'm gonna go. He's so nervous. If I move, it'll move. Uh, yeah, some of them neighbors' cats are real nervous. That ran away. Temperature reached 90. It's around 1:30 in the afternoon. I don't really have anything planned today. I'm thinking about something, but I haven't acted on it yet. I'll get back to you on that. Cattle are just hanging out here. Two bulls are out here eating. The grass by the house is getting tall. I'll give it another week. As long as they got something to eat over here on this side and down in the bottom. Got an upset stomach today. I've been mixing little smokies that I bought yesterday with watermelon. For some reason, they don't mix good together in my stomach. Yeah, I don't know what. Maybe watermelon and I guess the fat from the little smoky sausages. They don't mix well. Anyway, got her content. I can see that. I didn't water this lemongrass the other day, and then that night or the next morning we got 3/8 of an inch of rain, so that held them. But I can see the leaves are kind of shrinking a little bit from the heat. Yeah, but they're still growing. They're adapted to the heat. Almost I'd say every house in the Philippines has lemongrass growing next to its house if it's got ground. Yeah, lemongrass is everywhere, and they use it for a lot of. They cook a lot with it. But how they cook with it, when they like the plants growing out here, they would rip off a section, a stalk or two. They actually pull it out of the ground. I mean, they rip the whole thing off, and then they'll wrap it up into a bundle. Well, they'll wash it first, I guess, but then they'll wrap it up into a bundle and throw the whole clump of lemongrass all tied up into it like a knot. And then they'll cook it, and then that's easy. It's easier to take out that way. All I do with it is make tea, so I used to cook with it. I used to cook fish with it, but I still do sometimes. I'll just cut a piece of lemongrass off and put it in the pot when I cook the fish. That way I can still take it out. Yeah, but mostly I just make tea. They cook it with chicken. You name it, they cook with it. A pig, when they cook a pig, they'll stuff it inside the pig. Yeah. They call that lechon. Lechon baboy. Or lechon manok. That's chicken. Baboy is pig. Manok is chicken. Anyway, I should be watering this more often. But I never did get around to putting the grass clippings down to conserve the moisture in the ground. So, but it's hot today. I don't really want to do it. It's going to be hot until Sunday. Yeah. Today's Friday? Yeah. It's going to be in the mid-90s today, tomorrow, and Sunday. And then it goes back down in the 80s. It's still so it'll be better than this today. Yeah, I was planning on doing, not planning, I was thinking about doing something today. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it or not, but I'm just thinking about it right now. Looks like the flies are back on the bull. I can see it on his belly. But his back looks better. His back looks better. Where the horseflies were bothering him. So if he gets horseflies bad again, I'll get him back in the barn again. I gotta see what I can do today, if anything. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing something with these buckets, but first I gotta clean them out. They're all dirty. Yeah, from when they did the manure. At least those, at least these three are. That one I had something else in. Let me clean them up first. Who's over there? Oh, I see Mama Cat. She must have been laying under the truck. Yeah. Anyway, let's clean them up. Pressure's not very good. What's going on? What happened? Huh. Let's see the leaks in there. There's the hose. Here's the hose is crimped. This is the water pump. Now it's black pressure. I got them somewhat cleaner. I'm going to get some dishwashing liquid to clean them out a little better for what I need, what I want to use them for. So let me do that. A nice breeze though. Still hot in the sun though. At least the breeze kind of acts a little bit. Yeah, the breeze is actually cool. Yeah, that feels good. Wheels. Looks like somebody mowed that branch there with all those tall grasses there. That's over here. Somebody mowed that one. I got a clean bucket, so I'm gonna see if I can go down there and harvest some of those ripe elderberries, if I can find any. I'm gonna be crawling around in those weeds looking for elderberries. I see a couple dark ones. I'm gonna wear some protection. It's kind of hot, but nice breeze blowing, so that helps. Yeah. See the breeze on the grass? Yeah, feels good. Anyway, I got some arm guards, which are old socks, and I got long pants and boots on, because I don't want to get poison ivy, if there's any in there, and bugs too. Chiggers, what do they call them? Chiggers. I remember those when I was a kid. As a kid, we used to roll around in the grass. I'm too old for that. Okay, let's go see if I can pick some. Yeah, the breeze feels good. Well, there's still plenty of green ones here. If I see a ripe one there, before the birds get to them, I need to. And I've got one over there, at least one. I'm gonna see if I can get those out of there to start. I'll have to keep an eye on the rest of them because they're starting to turn red. As I got closer, I don't know if they're ripe or not, but I want to pick them anyway. I think they're supposed to be dark, really dark, like a dark blue. But I'm going to pick them. One more. They're not really ripe, but they're ripe enough for me. Looks like I got to blaze a trail to get to that one. I got a hook blade, so I can hook that one there. Pull it to me. I guess I'll get this one too. Boy, I got this one. I found another one there, so I'll get one at a time. I don't know if I want the other one. Pretty ripe, but these aren't really that ripe. I mean, they're red, but I think they're supposed to be dark. Like some of those are dark. I'm getting them too early, but I want to get them when I'm thinking about it. I better get this one first before I lose it. Some of these have green berries on them still. And up there, this here is a wild grape vine, but I'm not looking for grapes. But there's some other kind of vine in there. I don't know what that is. I don't think it's morning glory. I've never seen it before. But it's got some flowers on it, but they have no aroma. At least not much of one. A lot of pokeberries in there. I don't want them. Okay, that's all I can get here. Let me go down the road and see what I can find. Well, I got a few. I have to remember where I saw blossoms before during the spring. There's some more growing here, but if they don't mow them down, they'll be growing next year. But I'll come back for these if they don't mow them down first. One year I was ready to harvest some, and before I could get to them, the road crew mowed them all down. Yeah, how they got into this big ditch, I don't know. But anyway, I'll come back for these some other day. I've got a bucket there. Like I said, there's lots of green ones on them. They're not really ripe enough, but I just wanted to test, see what was out here. Well, mowing I did the other day sure looks nice. I'm just waiting for it to grow back before I cut some more back there. Yeah, I want everything to look greener and taller first. I seem to remember there was some just over this hill to the right. Further down, a little further down, before the neighbor's driveway on the right side. And then there's a bigger bunch, or another bunch, a better bunch, I think, down there by that creek crossing before it goes up the road, up the hill. I'm gonna do that. I want to check that one first. Oh. Hot out there. Whew. I got a few berries. I don't think they're ripe enough, but I'm itching my pants to go pick some. There's a batch up here to the right where the daylight's showing through, but they weren't looking that good every time I went by them. They look thin and not too healthy looking. Yeah, there's a few in there. I think the birds are eating most of them. Yeah, there's not hardly anything. There's one back there. I'll get that on the way back. Down there, before you go up the hill, on the right side, I'm going to try to turn around down there. I've done it before. Looks like they were in the water. Looks like they're starting to come out. Bull's on the other side of the fence over there. Yeah. Okay. Let me continue on down the road. Okay. Maybe I'll just park on this side. I'm gonna get down there. Now, they're actually on my neighbor's ditch, but I figure a ditch is fair game. Yeah, they're up here on the right before those taller trees. Let's see if they're still there. I don't want to go too far, I'll get stuck in a ditch. But I don't know, at least get off the road. There they are. I don't know if these are any riper or not, but there's quite a few of them. That's why I got 4 buckets. Let's grab the green bucket next. Oh, there's no air down here. There's no wind blowing here. Cattle are out of the creek again already. Got a little shade here. Let me get in there. That's why I wore long pants and arm guards. Yeah. Just an old sock. Oh, looks like the birds are eating some of them. Yeah, these are darker. I think these bloomed earlier. Yeah, you can see how dark they are. I don't know how deep this ditch is. Yeah, but you can see the birds been eating on them. Yeah, look at that one, cleaned off. Yeah, birds are getting their fill. So I better get what I can while I'm out here. Yeah, birds have picked these over pretty good. Yeah, because these are, I guess these ripen first. I do remember these were blooming first before the other ones that I just picked down by my house. Well, let's harvest a few. I got a few, but there's not many berries on them. Birds picked them all. I even gonna pick those. There's hardly anything on them. Here's a few though I can get. These here are really dark. But look, birds picked most of them off. These are sort of reddish, but they're still pickable. I don't know if I can get those. They're way back in there. Yeah, I'll pick what I can. Okay, got another bucket. I didn't get them all. Some of them aren't worth picking. I left that one way back there. It's pretty tall. I'll leave the rest for the birds. Yeah. Hot. A few years ago, I had a whole bunch of these elderberries growing in here. 2 bunches, one there and one over here somewhere. Yeah, they were thick. And I picked most of them, and then I was waiting for a few more to ripen. And the road crew came down and mowed them all down, and they never did grow back. At least not very good. I see one coming up here every once in a while, but I think the grass takes it over. Anyway, I'm going to head back that way. Cattle are all out eating. Yeah, I got another place I think I might find some. Thought I had this on from back there, but I guess not. Everybody's here except the bull. I guess she went back in the water. There's a red cow. Yeah, she must have been in the other pond. Near those trees where that small pond is back there. I don't see the big bull. Oh wait, I think that's him underneath behind that big dead tree. On the other side of the creek, he's under a tree there. I see his tail wagging. Switching, wagging. I guess dogs wagged their tail, but cows switched their tails. Yeah. Okay, keep going. That's pretty hot. There was no wind down there. No breeze at all. I guess that's not the bull. I think the bull's in the water. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he's in the water over by the bridge. But I'm not gonna go check him. I just want to watch traffic here and turn around. Could have backed up, but I want to do it different. Oh, cooler in the shade. Whew. There's still water in the mud puddles. I turned too short. Yeah, look at that. That was way too short. I was going to stop up here and check these out, but I think these are worse than the ones I just picked. Yeah, I got to those other ones too late. I guess it's better to pick them a little bit red instead of black, because once they turn black, the birds eat them. I'll take a look at these though while I'm passing by. I remember some over there too. I'll have to walk in from the pasture though. Yeah, I think there was one. There was one bunch here that I thought about getting. I guess not. No. These look like they've been picked over by the bugs too, or the birds. Birds. Yeah, there's hardly any berries on them. A few. Yeah, I got to them too late, I guess. There's a big bunch way back there, but it ain't worth my trouble to go in there. There's another bunch right there, hanging down in the weeds. Nah. I'll go see what else I can find. One year I picked a whole bunch here, but once the birds get to them, it's not worth it. Let's go check something else out, since I'm all sweaty anyway. I'll go back to... Oh, here comes somebody. I think I just wait here. I'll pull off in my driveway. Let's see if she turns to that neighbor. They get a lot of company. Nope, she went through. Okay. There's still some more there to pick, both sides of the culvert. Yeah, see where they did here? Here they hacked these down. I don't know how they cut them though. What they cut them with, because they're not chewed up. Looks like they might have used a sycamore. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking they used. Because if it was a bush hog, they'd be all chewed up. But the stems are still there. Yeah, they must have used some kind of a sycamore type thing. Okay. I got one place. I remember seeing a bunch of flowers in the spring, but I don't know if I can get to it. But I'll try to check it out if I can. Hey, school bus. Is that time of day? 3:50. Yeah, school gets out at 3, I think. Yeah, I remember riding the school bus. 8 years of Catholic grammar school, or elementary school. Same town where the Kroger is. And then 4 years riding the school bus for high school. When I first started going to school, this bridge down here was a wooden bridge. I think I mentioned this before. And all of us kids, especially if you're sitting in the back of the bus, it was called a ha-ha bridge, or at least we did, because the wooden bridge was higher than the road. So when somebody behind me, when we went across it, the bus, back into the bus, would bump up, and all the kids in the seat, because we didn't have seat belts in those days. I don't know if they got them now anyway, but we'd all fly up into the air. We liked it, unless then the bus driver would probably try to slow down. Yeah, somebody's coming up behind me. I better not dilly-dally. Dilly-dally. Yeah, dilly-dally. Right here. Right here is where I want to pick some on the right side, but I got somebody behind me, so I'm going to go to my other place first. Yeah. Hard to remember where all the places I saw. The car's still behind me. I have to run down the west side of my hayfield to get to the place I'm thinking of. I remember seeing some bunch of white flowers in the spring way back against the trees on the neighbor's ground. I don't think he'll mind. They probably don't even know they're out there. I'll turn in my first driveway, because that's where I got to drive along the west side of the hayfield to get down there. Yeah. Oh no, they turned off. Must be my other neighbor behind me. It was on the right side with all those pine trees. That's hot. Cooler in here though. Much cooler in here. Yeah, I remember seeing the flowers. Let's see if there's any berries to go with them. They're on the north side of a group of trees, so they'll probably be in the shade. All those weeds are dying, I guess. Finally. At least they're not growing very good, so that's good. I don't know if the grass is growing here or not. I guess so. Yeah, that buckhorn is the dark stuff. Yeah, but the grass is still green. Last year there was no grass. It all dried up. But at least we had some. I had a few rains here this summer, so it's looking a little better. Okay, let's just drive along the west side here. Well, I can show you where I saw the white flowers in the spring. There's not much grass growing here. Let's see, right about. I'll have to walk most of the way. Right over there, where those tallest trees, no, it's on the right side. There's a little indentation into the trees, and that's where the berries were, for the white flowers. Yeah, way on the right side, a little bit ways to the left on the right side. I can see some low-growing bushes there. Those must be the elderberries. Yeah, in the past, on my second cutting, it was full of this, these weeds next to the bales. I call them short foxtail. I don't know what they're really called, but I like to call them short foxtail. Tall foxtail. Is that the way you call it? Tall foxtail? Giant foxtail. That gets real big, but this here stays short. I used to have a good crop of that grassy brown topped, or light brown, that goes against the bales. But it's ever since this buckhorn took over, I don't know how to get. Hey, there's another. Look at that. Those switchgrass, those tall ones there, they're spreading. I see some growing every once in a while. I see some. Well, they're not all switchgrass, but some of them are. These are just kind of weed. These are weeds. But switchgrass is way down there. I can see it. The tall, clumpy stuff. But this is switchgrass here. Yeah, that's switchgrass. Birds must be spreading it. I think there might be one farther up too. But there's probably some others scattered back here. If I could afford the seed, I'd buy some. And have it no-till sowed into the grass sod. If we can grow, look at this. Look how dark this buckhorn is. Yeah, terrible. I don't know what these other weeds are. Yeah. I don't know if that's switchgrass there or not. I think that's some other kind of grass. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be worth it to cut this. I got another month and a half. What's today? 14? Yeah, a month and a half. I usually cut second cutting around the end of September, before it starts to get too cold. You can see what when they sprayed their weeds, their soybeans on the right for weeds. It looks like they had a little overspray onto my hayfield because it's onto my grass. I guess it don't matter. Ain't nothing here anyway. It's here mostly crabgrass here. Okay, let's go. I could probably drive down there, but I don't want to drive over there. I don't want to drive over there. Their beans, and besides it gets too narrow down there anyway. I don't want to leave any tracks. Okay. Let's see what I can do down there. Got my hopes up, so I'm going to take 2 buckets with me in case I find a lot. That's a long walk. At least it ain't too hard. Not too many weeds. Freeze Farm. The current Freeze Farm ends here. Goes that way. That's why I'm renting it from the Freeze Family Trust. Yeah. Okay. But this part here, this 20 acres here, a long time ago in my father's time, I guess when our my great-grandfather died, I guess my grandpa, Dad's father, got the farm. And then when my grandpa died or something, I'm not sure, he died a year before I was born, but somehow my father got control of the farm. And then, because my grandmother was still living in the old house over that way, it's gone now. And then, but anyway, this 20 acres here was inherited by my great aunt, my great aunt. That'd be my grandpa's sister. Yeah, Aunt Annie. And she lived down that way. About a mile down between the intersection down there and the highway. She lived about halfway to the road. Anyway, when she died, her daughter got it, and then that's my dad's cousin, and she lived over there with her husband and on their property over there. And then when she got old, my dad's cousin got old. She had to sell this when she got sick or something, or just old. And I guess none of the kids wanted to keep it, her kids, so she sold it. And then now my neighbor over there, the guy who runs the dairy farm, he bought it, and he was my classmate in high school. Anyway, it runs down to the where those trees start. That's how far it goes. And I remember there used to be a tree line all the way from that corner, this corner, all the way down to the road, and we used to play along that road. There's a lane in so he could farm it. Anyway, that's neither here nor there, because I'm out here to look for elderberries. I had to stop and rest. Gonna take an ATV out here. I can fit the ATV through here. Sure is a lot of effort for an uncertain reward. Hope there's something in this trail. Legs are giving out. Especially walking through those tall weeds here on this end. Guess our weed killer didn't work as good down here. I seem to remember, yeah. There's a culvert down there at the end of that cornfield. That's where the lands are. 40 acres there, 40 acres there. That cornfield is owned by somebody. I remember it used to be owned by that family there, and that's where I got that blue baler. They had an auction. I think it was yeah, they had an auction when the guy stopped farming. I went to school with his daughter. Anyway, they had an auction here. One of the neighbors farther west bought it. I couldn't afford it. But the son of the farmer who lived there, he still farms it. He raises cattle, mostly alfalfa and alfalfa grass mix. He sells some of his hay too. And his daughter built that house. And then the son built a cattle operation over there. Anyway, I'm going down this way. At least I'll be in the shade. Easier to walk to, I think. I just remembered. This soybeans here, I don't know about, I can't remember what they did on that side, but on this side, on the left side, this was wheat. That's where all those bales came from, the wheat stubble, or the wheat straw. And then he planted soybeans in the wheat stubble. And I can see it, it's just starting to bloom now. Yeah. So they got a long ways to go before they can produce beans, soybeans. I'm just making excuses to rest. I need to get down that on the other end of these woods. Remembered that all this water from up here, the watershed from here goes down here, goes down to a little stream, and that stream is on the south side of my fence. On the south fence, it's actually part of my property line on the south side, and this stream will empty into the big stream just before it hits the road. I seem to remember. I don't see anything. I seem to remember there was a shed in here, or an old house, like a small house, or something, when I was a kid. Whatever was in here, it's probably all fell down already, because I don't see nothing now. I wasted my time and energy coming down here. I see the elderberries, but these were picked clean. The birds really picked them clean. There even aren't that many. Oh, there's some over there too. I'll go look at them. But I don't have any hope for that, anything else. There were some berries here, and you can see they're dark. But they're not worth picking. This is what I saw in the spring. Guess I should have got here sooner. There were a few. Not as many as I thought there was going to be. I thought there was going to be more. I want to taste them. See what they taste like. At least the honeysuckle smells good. But there's no berries. I mean, there's a few, but not worth picking. Yeah, bears picked them pretty clean over there too. Oh, wasted my time coming out here. And more honeysuckle. That's what I did pick. Just want to see what they taste like. This is what they're supposed to look like. By the time they get this ripe, though, the birds will eat them all. I forgot about that. There's a few here. I'm gonna bite some of these. See what they taste like. They taste like elderberries. But they got seeds in them. I don't like the seeds. Maybe I'll use these. Maybe I won't do process these, because when you cook them, I cook them down. When you cook them down, I think the seeds don't sprout, because I tried planting the seeds after I cooked them, but they don't grow. So I won't cook these, and I'll just plant these. I figure where I plant them, where cattle won't get them. Okay, now I got a long walk back with nothing. I wasted my energy to walk all the way over here for nothing. I guess I was just too late. If I would have gotten here a couple weeks earlier, I think there might have been something to harvest, but the birds got them now. At least the breeze is blowing through here. No wind over there though. The trees are bucking because the wind's from the south and the trees are bucking, but here it's wide open. Wind's blowing across my wet shirt and arm guard because they're full of sweat too. Okay, catch my breath and get back to my truck where it's air conditioned. And I don't think I want to pick the ones on the bottom on the way home. Too tired. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Just too tired. I brought 2 buckets with me, and I only got a few berries. And I'm not even going to use them. I'll use them for seed. See if I can grow some around the house. But there's hardly any place to grow them because I got cattle everywhere now. I didn't get nothing. I thought there'd be some. There was some, but I waited too long. Birds get them when they're ripe. I don't feel like going back the same way. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go around the hayfield just because I can. Yeah, they oversprayed a little bit. Yeah. if they cut this for hay, they'll have something, but it won't be very. You're not going to get 10 bales out of it. But 10 bales is 10 bales, but it's still going to cost me though. They charge per acre on the cutting, charge per acre on the raking. I don't think they'd have to ted it since there won't be hardly anything here. But maybe if I get enough rain, something will grow between now and the end of September. Maybe. But the buckhorn, yeah. Corn's getting ripe. Yeah. I used to have it, yeah, before the buckhorn took over. These light brown tops, which is like a short foxtail, would cover the whole field, and I'd get a second cutting off of that. Fescue don't like the heat of summer. It'll start growing again when it cools off in September. Alright, we'll see. Neighbor's corn is getting ripe. Look at, I think he cut some of it for silage further down to the down the road. I mean, there's some grass here. I'd say it's about 4 inches. It's not growing too good. That's probably my fault. I'm at the high point now. One of the high points over here. Yeah. I'll take a sideways look. Yeah, like I said, there's some grass here, but last year the grass was dried up mostly. This year it stayed green because of the little bit of rain I got. Yeah. Oh well. Oh, I didn't think. Yeah, this is what the hayfield used to look like. This light brown stuff next to these bales on the second cutting. I mean, it was full of this stuff. Now it's full of buckhorn. You can see the clumps of grass off to the near the road. That's switchgrass. There's some clumps over here, and there's a couple clumps out there. Last year I harvested them for seed. I still got the seed in bags. I never did thresh out the seed. I might do that again. If I decide to cut it, I'll do it before they cut. Let's see how much track I make. And this grass. much of a track, is it? Yeah. Well, I guess I'll just have to wait. I'm not driving through there. I'm gonna right over here. Grass seems a little greener here. A little bit. I think it's more moist on this end. All the water that comes from the field, the cornfield, it all runs down this way. It comes out through here and it goes down the headland. Yeah, that's why it's greener here. It got more moisture. Well, at least those weeds didn't get out of control. They died. I should have just cut them down when I was out here. I want to see how the weed killer was doing. Yeah, I'll harvest that clump of green grass there in the ditch, on the edge of the ditch. Yeah, I harvested. I cut that this spring, and now it's growing again. And I still got that dried grass in the barn. This, wish I had a whole field of this switchgrass. The last time I bought it, this is like 20, 30 years ago, I bought this stuff. I think I only bought like 5 pounds, and it was outrageous. Yeah. But I read about it and I wanted to try it, so I planted some on a couple of spots on the headland. And even after it was sprayed, in 2017, was it 2018 or 17? I had all the fescue sprayed and planted pearl millet, and then after pearl millet was harvested in the fall, I worked the ground down because it was clean. There was no weeds, there was no vegetation at all except for the stubble of the what's it called now? Pearl millet. And then I sowed alfalfa in it. Yeah, from 2018, 19, 20, about three or 4 years, I had some pretty good alfalfa. But then over time, even though the fescue was sprayed and killed, there was so much seed in the ground, I guess the fescue came back. Yeah, the switchgrass has got the seed heads on top now, but they're just blooming. Okay, I'm gonna head home. Well, I did something today. Wasn't much, but I did something. Yeah, right here is the entrance to this other field. Right here. Right about where that dried straw is. There's a I don't know if there's a culvert here, but there's a I think it's here. Yeah, it must be there. I think back here. Yeah, there's a crossing. There's been a ditch crossing. I don't know if there's a culvert in it or not, but there's a crossing, and then it ran all the way down. Yeah, right here. Goes to the left side of those group of trees. That's where I was. I was down over here. That's where the elderberries were, but they were picked clean by the birds. This used to be the crossing, or entrance. I don't know if they still use it or not. Probably not. They made one down there by the edge of my hayfield. But there used to be a line of trees here too for the boundary. But over time it got blocked out, bulldozed out, cut out. So many distractions. Yeah, it's nice to own land. But you gotta take care of it. And you gotta work it to make it produce something. Yeah, I kind of remember. My wife never did like when I spent money on the cattle or raising hay or anything we spent money on that wasn't her family in the Philippines. But she put up with me. She put up with me. She did like the animals, especially the babies. She liked the babies. She liked the raising the babies, baby calves. Yeah. So she got her joy out of it too. She just didn't like spending money. She was very, what's the word? Frugal. Is that the word? Frugal? Yeah. She didn't like spending money. Let me see what I can find here. Drive by and look. I don't see nothing yet. I keep an eye on behind me. I thought there were some elderberries here, but I don't see any. Yeah, I thought there was some in here. Oh, I think there's one right there. If it ain't one, then it's just a hole in the weeds. But I think it's an elderberry. I'm not sure. Could be just a dead leaf. I'm not sure. I'll keep an eye on the window. Rear view mirrors. Ah, there's some. Well, I'm here. I'm in the shade. Let's pull over. Before somebody comes. Because coming down to this bottom, some people fly pretty fast. They don't see it right away. There's a deep ditch here, so I got to make sure I don't fall off the road. That's good enough. There ain't much here, but I got some. Some of these are still green, but they're ripe and green at the same time. Yeah, there's a really deep ditch down in there. There's a car coming. I got one there and a couple down here. Yeah. They're ripe and green on the same bunch. Some wild phlox. My wife used to love this stuff. Yeah. She would dig up some plants and then plant them around the house. They grew for a while. After she was gone, I didn't care about flowers anymore. She was the gardener. I'll pick a few for her. Yeah, they're different shades. They look better in the camera than they do in my eyes. The camera brings out their color. They're a lot brighter in the camera. Dead tree fell here, and it covered up some of these elderberries. There's one green one down there. There's some ripe ones here. There's one over there. I think there's some on the end. These are all laying down, so I'm gonna have to pick them up because I got some there and there. That's a green one. Yeah, but I think I can reach that one. I'll see what's under this one. There's one out there too. I can't see if there's a berry on it or not. There's some more phlox. I'm gonna pick a few. Picked a few, but yeah, I'll leave some for the butterflies. There's a green elderberry. Can't pick it though, too green. Yeah, it looks nice in a bottle of water. Smells good too. Yeah, I forgot how good they smell. Not as good as wild lilac or honeysuckle, but still nice. Well, I got a few. So I got 3 buckets now. The 4th one has that one I picked before. I'm just driving along real slow, see if I can find any more in here. I picked these along a few years ago. I don't see nothing worthwhile. I don't see nothing yet. There's too many weeds here to see anything good. There might be some in here, but they're covered up. There's one, a small bunch. I ain't gonna mess with it. It's too far in. Like I said, there's a deep ditch here. There used to be some on this end here. Oh, there's a nice shot. Not elderberries, but nice. Guide Susans. I haven't seen them. There's some up along the road sometimes, but this is a big bunch here. I like this. There's no fragrance to them in it, but they just remind me of summer. I think that's about all I'm going to find. And I'm tired anyway. It's after 5. I gotta keep an eye on the traffic. Hey, there's a bunch, but the birds ate them. Yeah, there's a few in here, but the birds ate them already. Yeah. And look at that. There's one bunch the birds didn't get. They ain't worth the effort to get out of the truck. The one closest to me are picked clean, but the one further back, it's got some berries on it. But I don't feel like going to get out to get it. Yeah, birds will find them. I think that's. Well, there's a nice bunch right there. I'm going to get this one. It's a lot of work just to get out and get them, but I want it. That's a nice bunch. It's probably hidden from the birds down there. I got about 4 bunches. There were some that were hidden. I'll keep looking right here. I ain't going in too far to get them. Okay. I guess that's about it. There's probably some along this tree line on the neighbor's field here on the left, going all the way back to my pasture. But I can't. I know in the spring I used to see some white flowers there, but I'd have to walk the whole thing to find them. I'm not that energetic. Yeah. I think there was. Wait. I think there was some right here. Somewhere on the left here, behind those trees, across the creek here. I don't see anything now because the trees are in the way. But remember, there were some before. I don't see them now though. Well, I'll forget about them. I'm done anyway. I think there was some along this left side too, if I remember right. They might have got sprayed though when they planted beans. Yeah, I think there was some down here, right on the left side here. I don't see them anymore. I thought I saw some here. Maybe I was wrong. They're just weeds. Yeah. I see a lot of them in the spring, but then, oh, I got must be some residue on my windshield. I wiped it off, but in a certain light you can see the streaks. Yeah, the sun hits it just right. Yeah. There's other elderberries, other places. I just can't remember where I saw them. I got 3 buckets. That's better than nothing. Not as good. I still got two bottles. Same kind of bottle I got these flowers in. The kind I drink my water out of. Old, what do you call it? It's root beer. What's the name of that root beer? I forgot the name of it. ABC? No. I forget. There's still some berries here though, on the right. They're still green, so I gotta keep my eye on them. They look pretty good. Well, every time I drive by here, I gotta admire my work. Yeah, they did a pretty good job. And after this grows back some, I'll start cutting this. When I see them out here eating, that's when I'll cut the other patch. Yeah, it might be a week or two before I can let them in here until they start eating this stuff. It's got to grow back first. Well, I'm done picking berries, elderberries, but I want to drive down and look at the cattle again. I was talking about the cattle at the big pasture, but since I'm here, look at these two. Yeah, they're eating again. Yeah, there's more water in the pond this year than it was last year this time. I'm glad about that. And the grass is still growing too, which I'm glad about that. Which means I don't have to feed hay. It on? Oh. When I went to turn it off, it was on, or it was already off, I think. Anyway, I said I'm glad there's water in the pond this time of year. Last year it was pretty dry. Looks like she's going back down in the pond. Cool off a little bit, at least in the shade. Yeah, they still got, let's see what the difference is between these two. Yeah, there's more greener stuff on the left side where they're locked out of. I might let them in there one of these days. I was going to give it another week, but I might do it early. As long as there's something in there for them to eat. Okay, now I'm going down to the other pasture, look at those cattle. If they're still somewhere. Yeah. Okay, now I can see all the way to the barn. Okay. Well, I picked a few elderberries, but the majority of them were eaten by the birds. These here were picked clean on the left here, or right, on the right. I need to plant a patch. Someplace where they won't get mowed down, or I can keep an eye on them. I could try to plant some in the garden. Yeah, I could try that. Yeah, I'm going to have to mow this grass by the fence too one of these days. Not yet. I'd say the cattle went in the creek. That's what I'm thinking. I'm guessing they're in the creek. If they're not in the creek, cooling off, then they're somewhere else. They're up on top. Let's see. Let's see if they're in here. I don't see anybody. Nope. Nope. Nobody's here. So I guess I'll go. I don't really feel like going up there. I don't know. I think I'll just back up. It's been a while since I backed out of here. I may just pass the road wide so I wouldn't have to worry about hitting the fence. So far so good. Oh, there's a lot of bumps through here though. Okay. That's okay. I don't think I want to work on the berries today. And since some of them were kind of green or not quite ripe, I'm going to leave them in the buckets for at least a day or two. Maybe they'll ripen. I'll take them in the house, although they might have bugs in them. I'll leave them in the back of the truck, the animals will get to them. Man. I left that gate open last night. I forgot. Yeah, air conditioner keeping me cool. Good enough. Ooh. I didn't really plan to do this today. I start thinking about the elderberries getting ripe. I figured at least I should go look at them. And some were not quite ripe, and some were overripe, and some were picked off clean by the birds. That's the way it goes. All depends on how soon they bloomed, I guess. Yeah. I'll take these inside the house. Look at my wife's picture. And I got 3 buckets. They kind of settled. They were full, but now they settled down. So I'll leave them here tonight. And here's this one here. I just got those ones after that long walk between 2 bean fields in the woods. I'll save those for seed. I won't cook those. But these here I'll cook down, get the juice out of them. Because when you cook them, the seeds won't sprout. Since I'm out here, I guess I better check the mail. I didn't do it before. Close the gate too, because I'm not going anywhere now after this. Yeah, got another Ford factory. What is it, a recall or something? Something to get fixed? I've had about 3 or 4 of those since I bought my truck in 2017. I don't know if I got any for the car, but I got 2, 3, at least 3, maybe 4. That doesn't include this one. I'll see what it is. Okay, gotta go in and cool off. There is a nice breeze though, so there's that. Still warm though. I can hear him munching. There really is not, that grass ain't that big on this side. So I'll wait a while. As long as I got something to eat over there. Looks like the white bull's in the water down there. I can see him. I gotta go in. I'm hot. Sun's hot. That's for sure. Fight! Cat fight! A couple cats just rolled across. I'll go check it out. I think it's my cat. And oh, it looks like they went up to. I saw some weeds move. The cats. I saw them. They were fighting and rolling underneath my mailbox. Getting lightheaded. Oh, the eggs are giving out. I'm going to take them flowers inside the house because they smell good. Oh, this is the breeze up here. Oh, that was good. '92, at almost 6 p.m. I don't forget, before the sun goes down around 7, sun goes down 7:50 or so. So before the sun goes down, I want to water those lemongrass real good. They haven't had a good rain for a while. They had some little bitty ones, but nothing deep. I'm going to water them good tonight. It's 7:20 p.m. Sun's getting low, but it's still pretty warm. But I'm going to water the lemongrass now, but I got to turn the water on up here somewhere. Turn the water on down there. 90 degrees at about 7:25. Ain't too bad. Oh, I just saw a big bird fly through the trees. Probably a hawk or something. The cats again. Neighbor cats were eating some of it today. Okay. They're out eating again somewhere. Let's see if I can find the end of the hose. I turned it on. Let's see where the water's coming out. There's the hose. It's leaking there, so I'm going to put that over into the bed there, where I won't be wasting the water. Yeah, no, I got the things to fix it, like I did here. Yeah, I got a couple more things to fix wherever it's leaking. I think there's one over there too. I'm not sure. I know there's other places that's broke. At least now it's leaking down into where the grass is. I think if you pour water, I'm going to pull out some of these crabgrasses here. There's one here, and at least one there. I put the break in the hose. It's leaking there. I put it on top of a plant. The sun's getting low. That's an idea. Maybe I should buy some kind of a drip hose, or even make one. Get a hose that, you know, I got some new hoses under the porch. I never used them yet. I bet they're 20 years old. He's been out here a long time. Anyway, I could probably use this hose, set it up along here, like down in the middle, in between, you know, right down the middle, and then on all the boxes, go down this way and that way, wrap it around, and then poke holes wherever I want the plants, and then when I turn the water on, it'll just be a drip irrigation. I'll have to look into that. Yeah. Okay, but right now I'm going to hose them the old-fashioned way with the nozzle. Okay. Yeah, I got a good stream on this. Let's get in the middle. Yeah, that'll work. There's some more grass growing. Weeds, I mean, crabgrass over there. So I got these plant stackers. So like here. But I'm just gonna go across this way. I should have done this a long time ago, because really haven't had that much rain. I can get these end ones real big. Yeah, they spread out a lot. Some of them spread out faster than the others. That one over there, behind this one, it must have been small or something, because it didn't spread out. It didn't grow as good. I'll give them a little drink, then I'm going to move on down to the other end. Yeah, when I cut these off for harvesting, I cut them off because I can't leave them out here in the wintertime. They'll die for the cold. Yeah. But I'll cut them off about 4 to 6 inches above the top here. At least 4 inches, if not longer. Then the rest of it I harvest. I harvest the leaves, and I tie them into bunches, and then I hang them to dry. I leave them whole. I don't wrap them up. I mean, I wrap them with string on the butt end. Now, what I've seen in the Philippines, when they use lemongrass, there's a crabgrass I missed. What they'll do is they'll just, I already said this before, they'll just rip off a piece on the edge. They'll just rip it off, root and all, and then they'll take that, they'll use all of it. Okay, maybe there's more flavor in the bottom, but I use the whole leaf on top, and the stalk too. I still got lemon. I didn't use no fresh lemongrass yet this year because I just want them to grow. And then I still got dried lemongrass from 2 years ago. I'm still using. I used since I had some from last year and 2 years ago. I use both. A little bit of each when I make tea. And I mix my lemongrass with the other tea leaves that I use. I use the I need to harvest some sassafras leaves. I forgot. I don't know on that. Sassafras leaves, lemongrass. The tree behind me. What is it? And that little tree over there. Mulberry leaves. What was the other one? Oh, the mint out from the big pasture. Had an itch. Yeah, I'll keep the weeds out of here. I got a little jungle going on here. Yeah, that's a staple in the Philippines, lemongrass. Every house has their own plant, or they steal it from the neighbors. Yeah. It's cheap to buy too, anyway. They use it in all their cooking. I don't think they make tea out of it. I heard somewhere that they when they make coffee, they'll put it in their coffee. But I didn't see my wife's family doing that. So. Well, I'm going to move down. Oh, I got my hose in the wrong place. Let me turn this off. That's weird. I thought I had lemongrass in there. Looks like there's a gap. I see that. Looks like there's no lemongrass in there. It must have died. Huh. There's Mama Cat way over there. Huh. I thought sure I had lemongrass in there. I guess it died. I just got those two on the end on there. Huh. I thought I had more than that. There's a big gap in here. Anyway, I guess I'll water this a little bit. Look at the weeds I sprayed the other day. Looks like they're dying. This is just asparagus. I don't eat much of it anymore. I get some stalks when they first start coming up in the spring. And then when they start to get big like this, they stop sprouting. I think they still grow new ones because I think these are. I got some sprouts here. So I just let them grow. Let me move on down the line here. I'm not watering this. I need to plant something there. Maybe you know what? Good grow there. Maybe I can grow some elderberries there. Maybe I'll try those seeds that want to plant some elderberries there, so they can grow next year if they'll sprout. I think what I'll do though is plant all the seeds in some soil in the spring in one container, and then I can let them all grow, and then I'll transplant them. See if once they come up, then I can transplant them. This box is pretty full, but I think I lost one back there. Yeah, right there, that hollow spot. I think I lost one there. And I think that corner is empty too, but I think that corner was empty because when I planted it, it didn't have no root on it. And this box here, that one's still trying to grow, but it's not, it just never did grow. Maybe it's too dry. I had three of them down in there, but they died right away. And I had one over there. It died over, like here, there, and there. So at least those two grew. That one is still alive, but it's not growing very good. Oh, there's one there. See, that one's not growing too good either. But it's growing. It ain't dead. I need to switch hands. And you get some more in the back. There's one way back there I never got yet. I should be doing this every night. Evening. My dad always said it's better to water them in the evening because if you water them during the daytime, all the water just evaporates right away. This way it has a chance to soak down during the night. Yeah, I water them a little bit every night. I got the hose. I got plenty of water. The cistern's full. At least I get a drink tonight. Yeah. Because the sun in the daytime is going to dry them up. Bugs are eating me up. Let me get some little water on here. Yeah, about the only place I can plant elderberries if they grow. Somewhere in the garden here. But if I remember right, they have to grow the first year. I don't think they make any. First year they don't make any seed heads or flowers. I think it takes at least a year or two before they actually bloom. What? Oh, that's a kitten. Looks like my weed killer worked on the fence line. And up there I sprayed some too, up there farther, underneath that tree area. So the weed killer does work on certain plants, but some weeds are somewhat immune. So I better finish this up. My legs are getting chewed up by the mosquitoes. Let's put some more water on that one. I don't have much hope for it, but it's there. Okay, let's move on down. Oh, I gotta turn this off. I gotta rearrange my hose. Okay. There's Mama Cat way over there by the fence. I didn't get much on here. Yeah, I'll try to plant some elderberries next spring, early. As they sprout, I'll transplant them into the garden. I'll probably put them in this box. That way I can tie them up to the fence. I can control their growth, and I need to get some manure. I need to get some manure like this in that box before winter. Back in that corner too. I think I'm about done here. Got a nice stream going though. And reach the whole side, all the way to the other side. Okay, let's shut it off. Where is it? Well, okay. I'll lay it down here. Okay, it's got a little bit of water on it. I should do this every night since it's going to be hot like this. Well, I better go back in the house. I'm getting eat up by bugs. It's 7:50, so I think the sun's down already. I don't see it anywhere. It's down already. I turn the water off. Yeah, I should water them lemongrass every day. A little bit every day would be good for them. Only in the evening though. Here comes the cats. Mama cat's first. She's leading the way, and there's the other whitefoot kitten coming up from behind her. And there's another one over there. How you doing, Mama Cat? Teaching your babies how to hunt. Oh, there's two, but there's two others are missing. Oh, they're up here eating. Oh, she's nibbling on something down there. Oh, here comes the third one. This is a nice time of the day. They come out to eat. So even when it's short, they're nibbling, they're eating it down. Squirrels eat it down as fast as they can eat it. I think I see a horsefly on the bull again on this side, on this right behind the shoulders. I need to spray him more often. Kitty, Mama Cat's over there. Yeah, this is my original frame, wooden frame for hauling bales. But then I decided to reinforce it. I haven't used it much since I put this other wood on here. Since my brother's got that big trailer, which works better than this. I can only haul 6 on here, and I could probably load these and that end, but this end, my tractor, my spear in the back can't lift it up high enough to get up there. Well, that's all I got for today. I did something anyway. Next 2 days, Saturday, tomorrow and Sunday are going to be hot again, so I'm not planning on doing that. I do have some concrete work to do out of up by the corral. Yeah. I just don't want to spend the money to buy the quickcrete. That's all. But before I can do that, though, I got to break some concrete off the one I already poured up there, and dig a hole, put some rock in it, and then so the water can drain out. I need to do the same thing to the other side before I pour the concrete. Yeah, I'll figure something out. Hey, kitties. Good thing you aren't big enough to take down a cow. Yeah, I'd be in trouble. Okay, that's good enough. Sun just went down. There's not much afterglow. Yeah. What's she doing down there? That's Mama Cat laying down by the side of the road. That's a dangerous place to be laying down, girl. I need to find another place. Clear skies right now. Oh, you got left behind, huh? Yeah, your family's, your siblings are up by the, you don't know where they went, or it. So it's going to stay with me, aren't you? Oh, here comes another one. Oh, they came back. Yeah, they came back. Mama's still probably laying out by the road. I don't know why she'd want to do that. The kittens followed me, though. One of these got left behind. Yeah, I let this grow back. And it looks more greener. Grass gets a little taller. I'll mow the other part. I'll mow the next section over that way. Then I'll have a third section way in the back over that way, along that fence. At least I got rid of the weeds and the bunches of tall fescue, because for some reason it didn't look like they were eating the fescue. Probably got too tough. They like the tender stuff on the bottom, the short stuff. Yeah, I sure like to rebuild my outhouse too, but it'll have to wait for another day. There's 3 of them. And here's the 4th one. Oh, it's getting sticky now. Yeah, the humidity went up. I mean, it was already high, but now it's even higher. I can admire my mowing work down there. Yeah, I'll start mowing this. I'll start watering the lemongrass every evening, at least while it's hot like this.